Welcome back, warriors. Now we are going to create the Next.js Fullstack Template where we are going to use Prisma as our database, and we are going to use tRPC to create the API routes to get that data to the front end. Also, I'm going to share with you some good to have practices and some awesome technologies that you can include inside your projects to make your life easier. By the end of this video, we're going to have a project which we can just clone and have a good starting point for a full stack application. And one more thing, I'm going to code this one in a real way, like I would do it without recording any videos. So I'm going to reuse a lot of code from my old projects so I don't write everything from scratch. First thing we need to do is to get the fresh copy of Next.js. So I'm going to run the npx create next app latest command. I'm going to run it inside my projects folder, and I'm going to name the project Orcish Next.js Fullstack Template. I'm going to copy that name because I'm going to use it for my GitHub repository, and I'm going to use TypeScript, ESLint, CSS, sources, app router, and import everything. Just enter. And while our app is installing, we can go and create a new repository. So I'm going to name it just like this, Orcish Next.js Fullstack Template. And we can skip description for now. I'm going to add later everything for you and create repository. So now our repository is created and everything is installed here. So we can go to Orcish Next.js Fullstack Template and just run pnpm dev. Now here we have our default Next.js page. Now we can go to our Git repository and we are going to add the origin of our new repository to the project. So here I'm going to go to my projects and then Orcish Next.js Fullstack Template, and there I'm going to run git init, and after that just add the origin of our new repository. So now if we check git remote version, we see that we have that repository. So that's good. We are ready to develop something. We can now close our GitHub repository and also the Next.js documentation. I use three things on pretty much every project I'm working on. So first one is Husky, and that's really a powerful ally on your project. It can run your ESLint automatically before each commit message, and it can run tests or any command you want. And installation is pretty simple. We just run the pnpm add husky, and then we just run the init, and that's it. Nothing else. Also, we need to create the custom message. I'm just going to copy paste it from my another project, and that's it. So now if we check the code, I didn't even open the code yet, and I did so much. So here we have code of our new Next.js application, and there you see that now we have Husky folder created. That's by our init command. And there we have just pnpm test. And now I'm just going to pull in my Orcish AI framework. If you haven't seen it, check it out on my YouTube channel. And there I have the pre-commit entire file ready, which I'm using on pretty much every project I have. And I'm just going to copy paste it. It's just printing some messages and it's running pnpm lint. And if pnpm lint fails, we are not going to be able to commit our code. To test it out, we can do our first commit, and here we can check what we changed. We have a bunch of changes, and we can just run git commit, and we can call it Next.js init. And now you see our message from Husky is here, and there are no ESLint warnings or errors, and we just pushed our code. Nice! Second thing I always use is pnpm. There are a lot of advantages of pnpm, but the most important one is speed. So that one is pretty easy. We just run pnpm import, Then based on our package.json, it created the pnpm.json, and now we can delete our package lock and we can just run pnpm install. And we replaced our dependencies to use pnpm, and next thing inside our package file, we are going to force each developer on, so pre-install, we are going to force each developer to use pnpm also, so if somebody installs something with npm, he doesn't accidentally push package.json file. So here we're going to put npx only allow and then pnpm. So now our code has to be installed, our dependencies has to be installed through pnpm. Third thing I always add to my projects is CZ Customizable. So that one is giving you a predefined scope for your commit messages, and it's really easy to install also. So we just add this dev dependency CZ Customizable. I forgot to put add this one. Then we add the commit command to our package.json file. And next thing we need is our CZ configuration.js. I'm going to copy that one also from the AI framework, and after that we'll just test it out. So I'm going to take my CZ config from my AI framework, and I'm just going to put it here. So CZ config.js and copy paste. So this one is giving us already all scopes that we need. This is something that I use. You can of course modify this and use it however you want on your project. One last thing we need to do, I'm also going to take it from the AI framework, from the package.json. We need this config to make our file working for CZ Customizable. So we are going to copy paste that part inside our package.json, and that's it. Now it should work. So now if we here add everything and go pnpm commit, that's it, it's working. Don't be afraid of these errors. This is because we still don't have components folder. Here inside the config, we are reading all the components folders, so that one is definitely going to be used later. We are going to have all these folders for our components, and now we can here just choose our scope. So this is definitely a new feature, and we can say that's inside the, let's say, configuration, and we can put something like CZ Customizable in it. And for the longer description, we can put whatever we want. We can just put, I'm just going to put initialization for now. And now our Husky is running. So our configuration is working for us, and that's it. Now we just push it. How great is that? And now our configuration is ready, and we can move on to install our Prisma. So going to the documentation, Prisma install, here it is, setup Prisma ORM. What is this? Let's go to the quick start, and we just run. So here we have TypeScript, TS nodes, types nodes, we have everything. So now we can just go and install Prisma. So pnpm dev dependency add Prisma. We are going to add that one, and then we can just run this command to initialize everything. I'm going to show you what it does. So we run the command, and now when we go to our code and check what is changed, we see that environment file is changed. So here we are shooting our SQLite database in our local, and here we have Prisma and also our schema. After that, we can just follow their documentation. So inside we can create our model. So we can create users, for example. That could be always useful probably for full stack applications. So we can put it here inside our schema. So I'm going to open that file, and there I'm going to put model user. I'm going to remove the posts because we are not going to use it here, and here we have ID, email, and name. That is going to be enough for the template that we are building, so let's go with that. After creating our first model, we can go to next one, and that is the migration. So I'm going to run the migration, and that's it. So now we have our user table, and we can check it out with our studio. So where it is, it's the studio, here it is, npx Prisma Studio. And here we see that we have our user table. So that one is working fine. Nice. Next thing, we need to create API routes and create a CRUD with these users. I'm going to close all these browser tabs. Here we have some problems. We're going to solve that one. And let's go. tRPC. I'm not going to write tRPC from scratch. If you want that video, you can check it above with the full explanation what is tRPC and how is it working. I'm now going to copy paste it again from my AI framework because that's the way I would do it in real life. I wouldn't write it from scratch each time I'm creating new project. I'm just going to reuse it from my old project and put it inside this template. I'm going to grab this server folder from the AI framework and copy paste it here inside our Orcish Next.js Fullstack Template. So here we have everything that is needed for tRPC. We have the routes. Here it's currently some OpenAI API, but we are going to copy this one also from the Spellbook app, if you have seen that video. And we have the client, our tRPC configuration. As you can see, we don't have dependencies yet, so we have to install everything. To do that quickly, we can go to tRPC Next.js install, and we have set up with Next.js, and here we can just install all these dependencies. So we can do it, what's this? Oh, Studio, we can do it here. We can just add everything. So we are adding all the tRPC dependencies that we need. And also we are adding React Query, which is used by tRPC, and Zod for our types. Now we need our provider and our API route. So we are going to copy paste that one also. So that one is in the app API and then tRPC and then route.ts. So we need this part. I'm going to copy the tRPC folder and put it here. So here I'm going to create API, and then inside I'm just going to paste the tRPC folder. And other thing that we need is the provider. So that one, I placed it inside the components widgets. So we can do the same thing. I'm just going to copy the widgets folder, and here I'm going to create components folder, and inside I'm just going to paste our provider. And I also copy the theme provider. We don't need that one. I'm going to delete it. And now inside our layout, here I'm just going to put the provider by tRPC like this. And now it should work. So we can check here inside the AI framework if that's the one. So layout here, how are we putting it? Yeah, so it should just wrap the children, and that's supposed to work. Let's just create one API route so we can test everything. So here in the routers folder, we are going to delete this gpt.ts because that one is not being used. And we are going to create a new one and call it users.ts. So here we are going to create our CRUD for users. For this one, we can already use my Spellbook. So I'm going to bring now my third project, and that's the Spellbook app. If you haven't seen that one also, you can check the link above. And there, let's see what we have. So there, here it is, the server file, the server folder, and here we have spellbooks and spells. So we can just take this whole file and copy paste it inside our users. So here now we are going to put, instead of spell, we are just going to rename every spell to user. And now we have our users router, and we are just going to change here. So we have what we have here. We have ID, that is going to be a number. We have name, and we have email. And that's everything that we have for our user. And same thing here. So we are just going to put here, it's the create. So ID is going to be input ID, then our name and our email. How easy is this one? Also here we have the delete. We are going to delete it, but we are missing the update, so we are going to create the update also for our user CRUD. We also copied the Prisma client implementation, so this find many is really actually going to the database and retrieving all the users for us. Now we can actually go and test out if our tRPC API is working. So I'm going to go to my page file. Here I'm going to remove all this default stuff by Next.js and this one also. And here, yeah, we need to use client because tRPC demands it. And here we are just going to create users variable and we are going to call tRPC. Then we have everything already provided. So GPT, that's not a good name. We need, let's see, that one is in here. So it shouldn't be GPT, it should be users, and this one should be users router, and this one should be users. Okay, now it's good. So we can go back to our page and here it should be users. Yes, now it's good. And then we have get and use query. So now we are getting our users and now we just need to display them. Have in mind we don't have users yet, but we are probably going to see some empty array. So here we are going to put JSON stringify and then users.data. So now we can go and okay, we don't see anything. Let's check the network here. Okay, something is not working. Let's see the headers. So it's localhost undefined. Okay, this is probably something with our, what's it called, provider here. Yes, we need the app URL, so we need to put this one inside our env file. So here we can just add, that's http localhost 3000, and now let's see. Okay, now it's looking good. Yes, now it's good. It's returning 200 and it's giving us an empty array, so that sounds promising. Let's go to our users route and see just here, just in case, to return anything. So we can return a and then a like this and refresh. Nice, tRPC is working, it's returning the data. So now we just need to add a couple of users to get them from our database. So we can use our studio again to add the users. What was the, here it is, npx Prisma Studio. And here we can go to our user, add record, and here we can just put some bruce@wayne.com and name is Bruce Wayne, like this. Okay, so I don't know if it would put automatically the, yes, it was waiting for me to press save. Okay, Let's see now. Here it is. We have our API getting our users from our database. And this is full stack application right now. Only thing left now is to create the update user. So that one should be easy. We are just going to copy paste our create and call it update. So here we are going to receive same like for the create, ID, name and email, except we are going to update the user based on our ID. It should be something like where I think something like this, where ID equals input dot ID or not. So let's go to the Prisma update and we can check the reference here. Here it is, update. So we need, yes, where? Okay, did I change the update? Oh, it's create still, okay. So this one should work, yes. Yes, this one should be good. So this one is going to update our user by this ID. It should update the name and email given in the body. I'm not going to test out this one right now. Let's push everything to Git and then you can test it out and tell me if it's working. And we can continue developing on this one together if you're up for it. So let's check our Git status. Okay, we changed a bunch of stuff. So I'm not going to create now 10 commits. I'm just going to, let's first check if we have some lint errors because that would be no good. Okay, great. So I'm going to add everything and we can call this commit something like, we can just call it full stack. So fit app, we can call it full stack app, and we can here say Prisma and tRPC implementation. And that should be it. We have now our Orcish Next.js Fullstack Template. You have the repository link in the comments below and tell me what would you add next to this project. Also, if you'd like more content like this video, share, subscribe to my channel. This was my way of development, how I code on daily basis, and I hope you enjoyed it.